Hi, my name is Kenneth West, and I'll be talking about the economic effect of hosting the Olympics. On today's agenda, we'll look at what is the cost, the rise of the economy, the fall of the economy, and the economic aftermath of the Olympics. We'll be looking at Brazil, and specifically the city Rio de Janeiro. When Brazil won the bid for the 2016 Olympics, they had to look at their infrastructure and make necessary adjustments. Essentially, Rio had to rebuild some of its railways, the airports, and construct railways and different means to be able to travel large groups back and forth to the different events. They also had to provide housing for over 40,000 athletes and their families. Many of these buildings had to be built from the ground up, so as you can anticipate, there will be several jobs for people to come in and be able to utilize their skills and help towards boosting the economy. The Brazilian government had to use a large amount of their spending on infrastructure costs. The money was supposed to be spent on healthcare and financial aid for its citizens, but saw this as an opportunity and wanted to see if it would help boost the economy. The rise of the economy. With all of the development needed for Rio to host the game, there was plenty of work to go around. The economy saw thousands of unemployed workers head to Rio. This boosted Brazil's economy and all of its neighboring cities of Rio de Janeiro. Thousands of sponsors and media spectators, they all came months before the Olympics, and many came after the Olympics was over, which actually helped Rio quite a bit. After the big build-up, they were actually able to trickle down through their hiring processes and things like that, letting people go instead of a big drop-off right after the Olympics was over. But essentially, they did have to, of course, let many people go as they had to hire many for the event. Shortly after the games ended, it was apparent that the thousands of jobs that were once available were soon to be gone. The boost in job creation is ultimately only relevant if it can be sustained over time. Essentially, they had a lot of citizens that were there who were unemployed. They were now finding work, and so they were able to provide more for their family, which is great. Job creation is great, but it's only really beneficial if it can be sustained over time. Many of the local businesses did not see the increase they anticipated, having many of the foreigners stayed in the heavy tourism areas, which were often owned by international companies, which end up taking more money from the local businesses. In the aftermath, the Olympics was devastating to the people of Brazil, and while the game showed some short-term profitability, it was never really impactful for the citizens. Many of the citizens were unpleased with the government afterwards because of the spending that they had spent on developing all of these stadiums and buildings that they no longer can use. However, they did fail. The government did fail the people with health care and are not paying for some of the students' school at this time. These references were from the main source was Investopedia.